First is, before I say what, why, right? Why do we need these frameworks, right? Let me start from that. So most of you know, if you look at the telco in general, like, what are the problem statements they are facing? First of all, 40% of their cost goes in operations. Second, network is becoming complex every day. We are moving from 5G to 5G advanced and 6G and then edge, then software-defined networking has its own evolution and so on and so forth. Network is becoming complex. Then you also have technology cycles becoming shorter, right? All of us know that it took maybe 30, 40 years to become telephony to become mainstream, but it took only hardly 2 years or 3 years to become AI mainstream. So the technology cycles are becoming shorter and shorter. So the expectation from the industry is to have AI solve some of these problems and bring exponential efficiency, right? So that's the prime thing. But the point is that I and many of you are sitting here are practitioners, right? Practitioners cannot go by only a vision, right? We need something to work on. And I think I don't have to go further. Everything which I am saying below is what being told by the previous team, Rani and Fat, that it is data quality is important. Then the cost, the ROI of the use case is important. Security is important. And so as some of the other parameters which I am telling here, right? So with that note, let's go into next one. What is the solution for this? The solution for this is basically to make sure that you have a good framework of how to do AI inside telco, right? So the vision which we are working towards is that you have to have a brain, a network digital brain. So that is something which is going to hold the different types of data which you are talking about. The second is the models, the prompt libraries, and so on and so forth. Of course, the different applications like performance, fault, inventory, and so on and so forth, all of them might be independently using agentic or non-agentic architecture, but connecting to that central brain. So that's how it is going to work. So in a sense, the entity which is actually going to hold this data and models and so on needs a framework which actually encompasses the security, the responsibility, the orchestration of this data to the model to data, and so on and so forth. So that is where basically we need a framework to solve that problem. So it's just not about putting data and model there, but you need something which actually a framework which actually stitches all these things together. Then comes the second question, right? Why a framework for responsible AI, right? So there is some report which Entity Data has published. Some of these data points are from them, which shows that almost 90% of the C-suite leaders agree that security is one of the major concern for basically adopting AI. And 70% of them agree that there is actually nothing which is available to do it. Only 24% of them says that there is a framework which is available. So in a sense, there is no framework actually there to use, right? And when you say responsible AI, it goes beyond just the privacy and security aspects of data. It actually walks into bias and it walks into sensitiveness and a lot of other things which is associated with the data and AI. So it's a very important problem statement, that responsible AI. The other thing is that a lot of regulators are actually coming up with laws which actually demands the AI to follow certain regulatory. So it's becoming increasingly important that security is not just about the security of data. It is all about actually what AI throws to you. All of them are gone through a guardrail, right? So that's a very important point, right? So this is the reason for why you need a framework for a responsible AI. Now, how we are trying to bring these things together in through the AI task force project of LFN is like this something. I have tried to put it very simple as possible for the most of the audience to understand. So you have data, you have models, right? Then you have something, you need something which actually do the connects, the assurance, the management, and the operations of that, and provides people with a way by which there is a platform way of actually handling these things, like whether it is a workbench or the assurance, the catalog, the dashboard, and then also connecting a AI to a model and a model to a use case, right? So this is why you need something in between to do that. And your applications, so-called, the end user applications, which could be a network operations or a plan design or any kind of applications, have to sit on top of that. And your responsible AI has to be something which is like cutting across all these layers, providing you the guardrails, right? So these are the two fundamental components which you need if you want to seriously look at building a good AI, in your organization. So this is exactly why we thought like we will attack these two problems first. And these are the two projects which just now Rani announced and Arpit disclosed the logos sometime back, right? So the first project, which is SDM, is going to actually bring that orchestration which I just now talked about, which is basically the connector, the ops, the assurance, and the catalog, and the workbench for the people to do. So that project is called Project SDM. And the second one is about the guardrails and the security aspect of it, which is the Project Salus. So that's going to actually look at multiple aspects like the multiple aspects like security APIs, the privacy APIs, explainability APIs, safety APIs, as well as the fairness and bias APIs, right? So all these things will be available with Project Salus. So the request which I have is that these are seed codes which we are giving. This is not definitely not highly trained, and this is not definitely highly customized, and this is not highly hardened for telco yet. That is the job of the community, to take up all these things and do these things, do this hardening and make it more and more applicable for telco and do it. So this is a start. Like I strongly urge all the people to contribute to this, work on these projects, and help us get this going. And next time we see this Open Networking Summit, next year we probably will have multiple deployments of it in telcos. So that's what we are looking forward. And thank you. That's it.